All right, what's up guys? Tim Sykes here. Wanted to do a video just on different kinds of trades. I know that many of you are just beginning, so you don't understand the difference between being aggressive or conservative. You just want to be in any play. I really encourage you to watch this last video lesson. I'll link to it on ALUR EVAX. Even though I was a little off, my thesis was dead on both, and I had more profits than losses. Both of them, spiked 100, 200%. It was crazy. Versus my latest two trades on NVNI and BACK, I made a few hundred each, but I didn't have any great expectations. And in fact, on both of them, I sold them too soon. I'm filming this at 9:45 a.m. Eastern on a Wednesday. I want you to really start looking at key times. 4 a.m., obviously, that's when most brokers open up. 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and really 7 a.m. when a lot of retail brokers open up. And then obviously 9 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. when the overall market opens up. Those are the key catalysts to look for. They're time-based catalysts because in this market, you just have so many new traders and they're just looking to buy anything that's hot. NVNI, by the time I even post this video lesson by the end of the day, it wouldn't surprise me if this thing is under 6. It already couldn't hold 750, but I really didn't expect that much. Let me just talk about this real quick. So I was dip buying this in the 570s, thinking that it could get back to the highs. It had already spiked right here pre-market. This was at 9:17 a.m. from 530 up to 670. And I'm buying it on the dip in here. And now looking at this chart where I'm buying in the 570s, it goes all the way up nearly $2 a share to 750. And this is, mind you, 9:24 a.m. This is 9:39 a.m. So going with the recent trend, we're talking about 10, 15-minute increments where most of the move happens. So why did I buy this? NVNI is a recent spiker. It's a former supernova. It went from under $1 to over 12. You should watch all former supernovas. And lately, it's been uptrending. On the daily chart, the candles look good. You have a nice uptrend. But intraday tells another story where even though it might be a green candle, it's very, very choppy. You see here that it spiked from the 1s all the way up to the 6s, came back down to the high 2s before going back again to the high 6s, and now we have this potential breakout. You don't want to chase any of these plays. If you chase them, it's really scary. So recognize that there's resistance here in the high 5s and resistance here in the high 6s. So you have a nice spike here just the other day, right around the open. This has a history of spiking at the open, okay? So there's only so much I can include in a trade where literally seconds matter. I'm glad I posted the trade before the market opens. Some people are like, come on, Tim, I can't do pre-market. Wait till the market opens. No, that's on you. Oh, wow, SGN is spiking. Hold up. Just another play. I tried to do a freaking video lesson. SGN is spiking quite nicely. Wow, look at this uptrend in just a few minutes from the 2s to the 5s. Hold on, let me alert chat. SGN, awesome spike. This is why I can't say everything in real time because this stuff is so quick. But as for NVNI, I'm not going to wait for the market to open. Just because you don't have pre-market trading, some of you, that's on you. That's you being unprepared. Every single one of you should have access to pre-market trading. If you don't, call your broker and get it set up. I understand some brokers, depending on how much money you have, it's not always easy to trade at 4 a.m. But then again, if I was a newbie, I wouldn't really mind not trading at 4, 5, 6 a.m. Many retail brokers open at 7 a.m. But NVNI, when does it spike? You can clearly see right here on the 24th, before it went from the 2s to the 6s, when did the spike really start? Right near the open. Then on the 27th, when did the spike really start? Right near the open. So this has a very clear and decisive history of spiking at the open. So going to today, it's not doing much, okay? Pre-market is trading here in the 5s. Remember, I don't care about any stock that's just dead in the water. There's literally thousands of penny stocks that will go nowhere fast. But this spike 10 minutes before the open, I don't care that there's no news. I don't care that it's a chat pump. It just gets traders interested. And remember, the 2 last spikes happened right near the open. So dip buying this, I don't want to chase it, but I'm dip buying it. Already hit 650. I'm dip buying it in here. So some people say, well, Tim, you don't know. Oh, look at it. Now it's holding the VWAP, actually going back to 7. I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have thought that it would crash below the VWAP. But this is how many shorts there are. Some people ask, why am I dip buying it here in the 570s? Again, I'm not looking for the 570s or 580s or 560s. This is a time-based trade, okay? I want to be there near the market open because that is when it has spiked, whether it's a few minutes before or a few minutes later. 9:30 a.m. is the key cap. Oh, look at this. I can't even finish a freaking sentence. Look at that. NVNI crashing through VWAP. This is why I don't chase. So notice before the crash, right now, I said I wouldn't have expected this bounce off the VWAP. It's a little late. Now it's 9:50 a.m. This trade is dead to me now. This stock is dead to me. I'm only interested in it around the open. Okay, so I don't care whether I'm getting at 570, 580, 590 even. I'm buying it off the dip at 650, and I think that it can get back there. Okay, this is my goal. I said dip buying off the recent spiker. Would love to see another spike into the market open or at the open. Move so quick. Dip buying is key. Okay, so it's not just about what my entry level is. Oh, like some people are like below the VWAP. I don't care. Okay, I'm trying to position myself before the market open because that is where it tends to spike. Sure enough, it did spike at the open here to 650. I didn't even last to 650. I was out at 611. Okay, I sold too soon, but I was happy just to take a nice profit and take a really disciplined profit. Even if I had held here, look at this, 660, and then 2 minutes later, 576. This thing is choppy, okay? So if it doesn't break out, it tanks. As you see here, it couldn't break past 660, the pre-market highs. So it tanked all the way to 570. That turned out to be a fake out to a giant squeeze over a few minutes. And then even here, it tried to bounce off the VWAP. It did. Some shorts got squeezed. And then it takes $1 a share in 2 minutes. So if you are going to trade these, recognize that you want to dip buy. You don't want to chase. And if it fails at any key level, whether that's the pre-market highs or the VWAP holds, if it fails, it can drop so fast. So this is why I'm so really disciplined and conservative. I tweeted this. I said, retweet this if you promise to be disciplined, meticulous in your trading today. No degenerate gambling allowed as gamblers lose, go broke due to their misguided prioritization of getting an adrenaline rush instead of getting wealthy over time from less exciting high odds trades. This was a less exciting high odds trade. No one on Wall Street is going to celebrate making $500. No one off of Wall Street. Most traders online think that $500 is a joke. They don't understand why I'm a multimillionaire making a video, let alone even doing the trade and trying to make $500. Because this is people's ego, narrow-mindedness, and snobbery. Snobbery a word, snobbishness. This is a low-risk trade because it has spiked 2 times in the past few days right at the open. I didn't sell anywhere near the top, okay? I wasn't sure that it was going to break this level, so I just took the small profits right near the open. As it turned out, it did go up a little more, but then it crashed. I don't know if I had held at 660 here. I probably would have taken some off here at 650, 660, even if I would have sold like half. You can't get that aggressive. But I don't know if I would have held through these 2 minutes of crashing. I might have been too scared. So sometimes for me, it's better just to exit carefully and meticulously and lock in a few $100s. But basically, this thing went up basically $2 a share from 570 up to 745. So best case scenario, and again, it's very rare for me to ever be best case scenario because this is not a trade that I would be aggressive on. But best case scenario, I could have made like $2,500 on this if I timed it just selling at the top. I made $500. So some people think like, Tim, what you do is impossible. I am taking 1/3, 1/4, sometimes 1/5 the potential profits. It's laughable, absolutely hysterical when people think that what I do is best case scenario. Look at this. Since I started the video lesson, SGN has spiked another $1 a share. Okay? So even just making a video lesson, I'm missing out on plays because there's only so much I can do. I can only talk so much and type so much, and then I miss plays. But this is why I alerted. I alerted this at 9:48 a.m., 6 minutes ago, when this stock was right here. Okay? This stock was already in the 4s and the 5s. Now it's in the 6s. You have to be blind not to see this. SGN up a nice $1 50 a share since my mention. Wait for video lesson I'm doing as I type this. Okay, so there's so much opportunity. It's laughable when people say like, oh, there's not much money to be made. This isn't a lot of money in today's world, but this is very easy, very low risk, and I am taking 1/5 the potential profits. I want you to be disciplined, okay? So retweet this when I say, do you promise to be disciplined? Look at this. I have 300,000 followers on Twitter. 28 people retweet it. No one wants to be meticulous. No one wants to be conservative. It's sad. The opportunity is there if you want it. Now NVNI is dropping as it should be. So even right here, I'm glad I'm doing this video while it's volatile rather than just when it's slower. I was surprised by this candle right here. And I wasn't tempted to chase it. I said that I was surprised. Next minute, it drops, okay? So like, how did I know that this would fail? I didn't know 100%, but when you see this stuff long enough, you start to see good odds. There's really good odds around the open, whether you take 50, 60 cents like I did, or the full $2 a share. This is low odds. Even if it had spiked up, let's say 720, even if it had gone up to 820 here, this is low odds because it's probably just some over-aggressive shorts getting squeezed. It's not at the open. You want to be there at the sweet spot, okay? So this was the sweet spot for NVNI. Huge, huge target to take profits. A blind person could see this. Legit. If where to look. If you recognize that you should be looking at how these stocks spike over the past few days. Yesterday, it was actually even more laughable how much I screwed up. I'm overseas, so I'm trying to trade based on East Coast time. I actually got the time wrong. I thought that we were heading into 7 a.m. I was buying this 7 a.m. Eastern. I was buying this at 5:40 a.m. Eastern. Part of the reason was I had a crazy schedule yesterday. I didn't even have Wi-Fi at 7 a.m. So I thought that I was buying this at around 6:40 a.m. and I was looking to sell it for the 7 a.m. spike. I didn't realize. I said, I'm out for small profits. I'm an idiot. Got my time zones mixed up. It was only heading into 6 a.m. And I was like, wait a minute, shoot. BACK, I'll bring this up because it's important. BACK yesterday did spike at 7 a.m. The best spike actually was right here at 5 a.m. So this goes with my whole thesis that you need to wake up earlier. But I was buying it right in here on this dip thinking that it was going to spike at 7 a.m. I didn't realize I was an hour early. This is what happened at 7 a.m. yesterday on BACK. Mind you, near the open, it tanked and then it spiked a little, but it basically faded all day. Look at the volume come in, okay? Before 7 a.m., it's trading here around 162, 163. There is no 7 a.m. spike, so a lot of people who were expecting the spike right at 7 a.m. actually cut losses, and it dropped from like 165 down to 150. So some people, I'm sure, were cursing me. I wasn't even online. Some people were probably like, no 7 a.m. spike. Damn you, Sykes. Look at this. It's a 7:05 a.m. spike from 150 to 180. So this isn't an exact science. You just want to recognize these sweet spots, okay? NVNI, I was there for the sweet spot today. Took profits too carefully, but I don't mind. BACK, I wasn't around for 7 a.m. Whether I'm alerting it, whether I'm around or not, these patterns work. These patterns happen. So congrats to anybody who didn't necessarily cut losses here. We saw this same kind of delayed 7 a.m. spike the other day on EVAX. I was trying to position for the 7 a.m. spike on EVAX, and I didn't do it. I would have been one of the ones who cut losses quickly. I lost like 500 on EVAX. Then it spiked like $3 a share at 7:20 a.m. Let me just bring it up just so that you see what I'm talking about. But seriously, watch this video lesson on these giant supernovas, ALUR, EVAX. Very, very different opportunity compared to plays like BACK and NVNI. But again, whether you're trading for the giant supernovas or you're trading around key time catalysts like 7 a.m. or 9:30 a.m., there's still opportunity galore. You just have to know which is which, right? You got to put the proper emphasis on the proper syllable. You don't want to say like BACK or NVNI could go full on supernova because the odds of that happening are very, very low. It's not to say that it can't, but the odds are low compared to ALUR EVAX. This was EVAX the other day, just in case you had forgotten. The big spike was right here at 7:18 a.m. So it had already spiked. It was already up from the 2s to the 6s, and I was dip buying it in here in the 540s, 550s, if you remember. At 7 a.m., when I thought we were going to get a spike, we got no spike, and I cut losses here, I think in the 530s. I lost like a few $100s. And then look at this. Big spike at 7:18 a.m., bigger spike here at 7:50 a.m. The thing doubled from my buy inside of an hour. So this is not an exact science, but at the same time, there are opportunities. And I'm just glad to make more than I lose. Like, I'm profiting nicely, a few $100s on NVNI and BACK, where I'm not trading them anywhere near perfectly. Like BACK, remember, I didn't have Wi-Fi, so there's not much I can really do here. Like, sometimes your personal schedule gets into a problem. But it went all the way up to 180. So there was opportunity for my entry at 160. NPPTF, that was my over the weekend long. Everything dropped on Monday morning due to DeepSeek. So that's just a nasty loss. That's going to happen sometimes with breaking news. But I had some nice, really disciplined profits on Hollow and JG. And then obviously EVAX and ALUR. So again, none of this looks that exciting or that amazing. And there are some losses along the way. But there are a lot of opportunities. And every single day, there's an opportunity to learn. So I'm learning that I was dead on right with my thesis on NVNI. I'm learning that I shouldn't be surprised when the VWAP hold fails here. I'm learning that I missed, well, SLXN didn't do much today. I missed SGN while making this video. Right back up to now 7. So this stock, when I was highlighting it, it was in here. It was in the 4s and the 5s. So now this is a $2 a share winner. So perhaps I should focus on this, but I like showing you this stuff. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you are watching SGN, if you're watching NVNI, if you saw EVAX or BACK or ALUR. All of these stocks are nicely in play. Or they have been in the past few days. They don't always stay in play. I mean, look at ALUR. Wow, I didn't even realize how much ALUR came down. I mean, this thing went all the way up to freaking 20, and now it's back down to the 5s. So if you ever wonder why do shorts short these stocks, they do fade, but they also spike bigger than most shorts understand, especially in the short term. And you who should be prepared, you with a small account, should be capitalizing. We'll see how far SGN goes, but this is definitely a potential dip buy for me. I'll get back to the chat. Challenge students, Q&A webinar tonight, 4 to 6 p.m. I want good questions. That's why I'm making this video. Watch this video. I'll link this last video on ALUR and EVAX. Lots of plays, lots of lessons. Let's do it. Capitalize. All right, so whoa, this stock just keeps going. Just a few minutes later, wow. SGN now 690. What a squeezer. I just traded again profitably and again underestimated. Locked in roughly 1,000 on SGN. You might remember earlier in the video lesson I missed this run up. If you ever miss a run up, it's not just about time catalysts, it's also technical catalysts. Look at this perfect bounce off the VWAP. It does not get much better than this. 550 up to 680. $1.20 a share bounce in 4 minutes. Okay. What did I do to make the 1,000? Again, I had a great entry. Looking, partial dip buy. I said moves fast, dip buy is the key like NVNI. By the way, some of you were like, oh, Tim, the alerts come too late. Get in the damn chat room, okay? Before I even bought it, I specifically said SGN potential dip buy, the lower the better. This was at 10.16. I bought it at 10.18, okay? This was right in here, and I saw it off of its highs in the 720s, right at the VWAP. I know some people are like, Tim, you didn't use the VWAP. Now I do. Welcome to adapting to the markets, okay? You got to beware of the key times and the catalysts, and also beware of these key levels to trade off of. I'm not just going to trade it randomly on the way up here. I missed it earlier while I was filming the video lesson. But this is the beautiful thing about never being unprepared, okay? I nailed NVNI for $500. Why? Because I knew that it spiked several days right around the market open. Having that knowledge, even if I missed it in the past, having that knowledge allows me to profit afterwards. SGN, you saw the video lesson. I mean, I'll combine these videos and put it into one major video lesson. I missed the run-up from the 5s to the 7s. But it's not just about one run-up. This stock had merger news earlier, so nice merger news, big volume, low float. You don't want to just buy randomly. I don't want to chase it here in the 6s or the 7s after I feel guilty missing it in the 5s. I don't want to chase it here on this little failed bounce. But this failed bounce sucked in a lot of newbies who were trying to just buy it randomly because they think that it's going to go back to the 7s, and maybe it does. But usually that one failed bounce opens up better opportunity. And that failed bounce here in the 620, 630s opened up this 4-minute panic from 640 down to 570. Again, you wouldn't be down right now here at 610 and now 650. So there was opportunity. But I prefer ideal entries. NVNI was based on time. I needed to get in before the market opened. SGN touched the VWAP. It touched the VWAP and it held it and it bounced quite nicely. And again, you look at my trade here. Wow, I nailed NVNI. Fantastic. I took 1/5 of the potential profits. SGN also, I have a crazy schedule today. I shouldn't even be trading. Everyone's yelling at me to go. So I'm trading and making video lessons. It actually helps me when I'm busy. But I made a nice 60 cents a share here. I only got a partial fill, by the way. I wanted 3,000 shares. Didn't get the full fill because, frankly, it just bounced off the VWAP so nicely. But this was just absolutely beautiful. And this is all in a few minutes, okay? This is in 4 minutes. So you really have to be ready. I know some people probably are buying this here 660, 670. Don't. Or even 640. You want a key time catalyst like NVNI or a key technical indicator catalyst like this. That's all it takes. One time catalyst or one technical catalyst in this market with speculative stocks, dip buying off the high, selling into strength. Leave a comment below. Let me know if this makes sense. Congrats to all dip buyers. So many freaking opportunities here. I'm happy with my $1,500 on the day. Selling both too soon. Went all the way up to what? 6.9. Did it hit 7? No, 6.95. So there was $1.30 a share of upside here. I took half the potential profits. Better than the 1/5 of the potential profits on NVNI. But again, I'm in a rush. I shouldn't even be trading. Congrats to all dip buyers. Leave a comment below. Let me know if this makes sense. Woo! What a morning. Challenge webinar in a few hours. Challenge students, all of you better ask some damn good questions.